Love you, bro. Hey, Donald, this is Clark. Hey, if you get a chance, could you give me a call back, please? Love you, bro. I want to talk to you about the house. Hey, Donald, this is Clark. Love you, bro. Hey, Donald, this is Clark. Love you, bro.
Hi, I'm Trevor.
Hi, I'm John.
Hey, I'm Josh.
You weren't supposed to say that.
Everyone was looking at me.
You are listening to Caps Off with John and Trevor.
Yes, and of course,
Joshua Lindstrom,
as you
once
already
again.
know, sitting in.
Yeah.
Joshua Lindstrom. Thanks for being here, man.
Who
You're
actually lost a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
Negative 10 pounds is pretty good.
Okay.
I thought we were gonna make any fat jokes this episode.
We didn't agree on that.
That's true. I sat back after last episode and I kind of thought like I should really try to evolve my humor.
Yes,
I
please.
think because like they say like when you stop yourself from getting mad at somebody or like acting on your anger, they say that your brain rewires yourself to be able to manage your anger more. I think maybe if I try,
I'm very angry at you all the time.
maybe if I try to suppress how much I want to just call him obese, I'll be able to move past that in time.
Well, I found a new joke that I think really works and gets the reaction that calling him fat used to get.
Oh, yeah?
Which is implying that his girlfriend is cheating on him with Dylan.
I love it. It's perfect. I think I'll just go ahead and sign on now.
I like that one a lot.
Where's April, Josh? We're in your house and she's not here.
I don't want to talk about it.
By the
So
way,
she's not in the state? Who else is not in the state?
that's so weird. Remember when Dylan was on the podcast? He's not here now.
He's not in this state.
I think this is the first, besides Tombstone, that we've ever even remotely recorded not at your house or my house. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always
usually
one of the two places. Do you feel off at all?
No. No, I feel pretty comfortable.
I do too.
Yeah, my home is very comfortable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I truly feel like it's su casa
Yeah.
and mi casa.
Well,
Wow.
don't go that far.
Okay.
It's not Sukasa.
There are a couple things I want to touch on because it's been a while since the last episode, but for once it's not. It's for good reason. It's not just because we haven't been like feeling like recording or just like him and Han. I have been busy.
You've been very busy.
I've been very busy, and
so much that I have actually have seen you maybe 3 times in the last month.
Writing and working on this like really big project, which is for a general audience. But if you're a Caps Off fan, you're just gonna have a super boost, and it's gonna be a much better time. We started doing the trivia nights at Uptown, and I've been hosting those, and which requires just an insane amount of research just to know what I'm talking about because I haven't seen a Harry Potter movie.
I was going to say, had you seen Harry Potter before you had to do that trivia contest?
No, I had to do so much research to just figure, and even
Why
then
didn't
I
you
was
just
still
watch the movies?
I didn't want to. There are eight of those bitches.
No.
I did not have time to watch 8 movies.
You won't catch me arguing with you. I don't really like Harry Potter that much.
Right,
and
good.
the fact that
I like the first few.
the fact that God, what's her name?
Mine?
No, you just name the
J.K.
first
Rowling?
female. Obviously, Hermione. No, because the fact that J.K. Rowling's like anti-trans makes it okay. Because now nobody's asking me like, you don't like Harry Potter anymore.
Right.
Now everybody hates her, so it's great.
Yeah, I had to really do a deep dive into Harry Potter and pretend, and even then I was still like turning around and be like, all right, explain this to me. Why is this that way? Or did she just walk up to people? Did she just walk up to like 10-year-olds and just shove a mic in their face and be like, say any name, make up a word right now, and that'll be my new character? Some of those names are just too wonky for me.
She's eating a sandwich
Like
and she's
Harry?
like, I need a last name. She's like, I need a last name for Victor. Oh God, there's crumbs everywhere. That's it.
And then we also started a new show with Uptown called On the Reel,
Yes.
where it's a little film show, about 15, 20-minute
You
episodes.
actually have to look at our mugs.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And this one, you're like not even like an exclusive. You're there. You're part of the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we just go and we watch a movie and start and just talk about it for a little bit. That's exciting.
We did
That's
it
something
once.
we
I think
We're
it went
one
well.
episode in.
I'm excited to do
We're
it
gonna
again.
do
Levi
one
really
pretty
wants us to do.
soon.
Yeah, he really wants us to do another one.
So stay tuned.
Yeah.
I advertised that was on YouTube, but it's super not. And I think it should be. But I guess we can get to that later.
Or I don't know if he just wants it to be exclusive to the Uptown Threes page, but whatever.
I get that, but if he's going to do that, then Uptown should have a YouTube account. I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
None of this matters. They don't care about this.
Right.
There's something that I wanted to do. I've talked about this before. I've tried to go back and listen to our catalog.
Mm-hmm. And it's very difficult.
It's very bad, and I don't blame anyone for not listening to this episode. And if you're listening to this right now, I cannot express to you how much I fucking just love the shit out of you for just listening, for just doing this simple thing, listening to me ramble right now. It's
my
amazing.
rule of thumb when I want people to listen to Caps Off is I usually just tell them, like, start at episode 10. Rides of Blackface. That's the first one with Dylan, and that's where we start getting in our groove. Before that, it's kind of there's some inside jokes, but
it's literally a banger.
Yeah.
And then so is 12.
There's like the Donald, the Rest in Peace Donald, and the African drum circles, and some things that you can listen to the early episodes, but
for the
they're just so hard to get through. It's tough.
Well, they're hard for a reason. Hard for the hard.
Precisely. And I'm hard.
Hey,
as we speak.
I think you speak for all of us.
Until I look at Josh, and then I'm very flaccid.
And then you wish you were, like,
dead?
Out of this
Josh,
house.
like Dylan. You wish you were Dylan.
I wish I was in another state with Josh's girlfriend.
Like I said, so I went back and I listened, and I hate. What are you pointing at?
What are you doing?
His water bottle is making a sound, and I want you to have to edit all that out.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Oh,
so
I
much.
didn't
Because
think
I'm
everyone
usually
was gonna
very
look at
worried,
me.
very worried about how my water bottle sounds when we're recording. You know how many
Well-
times, like I've been talking, and like my friend Robert, who listens, will be like, "I heard every single time you took a sip from that water bottle."
Hey, Rob. That one's for you, baby. So while the short time, I only made it to like episode 6. The short time that I did go back and listen to, it kind of, one thing occurred to me, and I know we didn't want to do it in the first episode, but then we completely forgot the fact that we didn't want to do it, and then never even thought about getting back to it. But we didn't even really introduce ourselves. If they know who we are, they know who we are, but
we kind of did in the very first episode, the Lost episode, the Mason Hendricks experience.
And it remains lost to this day, which is why
I've got it on my phone.
Do you want to just play that now? The rest of the episode is just going to be that. No, but I think it wouldn't hurt, especially now that Josh is here, just to talk. Just doesn't have to be that long. Just very quickly, like our lineage, I guess, because I feel like that's kind of important to know if you want to even claim to like any of us. You know what I mean?
I guess that's fair.
I'm sure a lot of the listeners we have are from like people you know.
Yeah, people you know in Iowa.
Exactly, and they don't know anything about either of us, but we know things about each other because, you know, even when the mics
we're
aren't
friends,
on,
yeah.
we still
Well,
just
trust me, the more you know about Trevor, the less you're gonna like him.
Let's put that to the test.
Good one. That was a funny joke.
Actually, Trevor, why don't you go first?
I can go first.
Because your name's first in the... Wait, no, my name's first in the title.
John, why don't you go first?
Thank
Because your name's
you.
first in the title.
Well, just stop.
Josh's name isn't anywhere in it, so he doesn't have to go.
Yes.
That's okay.
I like the ground rules. We should base everything off of that. Like
Hold on, wait.
The line in McDonald's. So I, as you know, and you know, I'm from Iowa.
Yeah.
I was born and raised there. My family's originally from Arizona. Most of them are, at least my mom and my dad. Well, my mom's from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going off on a derail now. But I originally came here because a funeral, and I loved it. And I decided
The funeral?
to live out here. Yeah, no, it was awesome.
God, it's
It was
so good.
John Grandpa died, and you come here, and Every Day by Buddy Holly is playing as you stroll down Fry Boulevard.
Well, the funeral was awful. But I like the town and the mountains and stuff, so I was like, this is way better, because where I come from, it's like trees, dirt, fields, and inbreds. And meth, so much meth. Oh my God! You think you guys have bad down here? This is nothing. So I moved out here to with my wife, my now wife. We got married out here, and had our first kid.
I remember you got married out here, and who you asked to be witnesses.
Okay.
You had a friend, a Trevor friend, that could have been a witness to your wedding. Whatever. I'm not upset.
Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. A lot of that, except for the kid. Actually, no, the kid didn't come first. I got a job first, which is usually how you start when you move, right? I had no idea what I was getting into, which actually turned out to be one of the greatest things ever. But don't tell my old boss that, because you know she'll try to take credit for that.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Tammy. That's where I met you, and what was one of the worst jobs I've ever had. And I think you can agree, but you know,
the without a doubt worst job I've ever had.
Yeah, in the words,
I've had two.
In the words of, I don't remember who sang that song actually. Is it Rihanna?
I don't know, what song are you talking about?
Either way, we found love in a very hopeless place.
Yes. Nice.
And
dub in a soapless place.
We actually we talked regularly here and there, but I don't really know what it was that was the spark that sent it over to I want to hang out with this guy that's not within the confines of Domino's,
right?
But there it was, and then before I knew it, you're at my house. We're talking, we're making these jokes back and forth, like that reference to the Scooby-Doo movie, which is
yeah. The biatch was like, what? And I was like, later on.
Yeah, so that, which holds no weight to the audience, only to us, but I don't care.
Well,
they can enjoy.
I'm fine explaining that.
They can enjoy.
That was before we were
for third person.
really good pals. That was like the beginning of our friendship. I said that, and I was cleaning the make line, and I started it, and then we said later on at the same time, and I was like, it was like a little magical moment.
Like if we were ever gonna kiss, it was right there.
Right then and there, yeah.
No matter who was in the store. No
missed opportunity.
All over the pizza make line.
I would have been Dylan, you would have been April.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Josh's girlfriend, in case you don't know.
But eventually, I mentioned my obsession with podcasts, which is mostly just with one.
Yeah.
I have a few others that I listen to, which sparked on this, where I was like, we got to do a podcast. All we do is talk.
I had never listened to a podcast before in my life.
And now, don't you feel like you're a better person?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Before that was uppity.
Before I met you, yeah. No, I had never listened to a podcast, and then you sent me two. You said, because you had John Gone West, and you sent me these two. One was Tell 'em Steve Dave, and the other was a Smodcast, if I remember.
Yes.
And you said you have to listen to these, and then I can have you on my podcast, John Gone West. And we liked doing John Gone West so much that we, you started bringing up the idea of I want to have a separate podcast that I just do with you, because we have so many conversations just in general, and I think some people would like to hear that. And then we sat in what's now your son's bedroom.
Yes.
And you set up a microphone hooked up to your phone, and I put my phone on the floor and did not tell you that I was recording with it. And
got better audio. Yeah. Way better audio than that shitty old mic I had.
And we recorded the Mason Hendricks Experience.
Which is that lost tape. It'll come out someday.
Yeah.
Not today. This
not
is all
today.
you get for now.
It'll be a while, yeah.
So, yeah, basically just kind of took off from there. And then not long after that, well, it was a couple months, we just quit together almost on the same day.
It was because I put in my 2 weeks and I told you about it and you were like, huh. And the next day
burn it down.
The next day you put in your 2 weeks and you're like, I'm not going to work here without you.
Yeah. That's how you know a friendship is golden, to where it's like, this place has its ups and downs and Trevor has its ups and downs. But then when you take one out of the equation and you realize how much you just can't do the other one, right. You just can't do it.
Oh, yeah, Domino's was bad. It was bad.
And then I got a couple other jobs and quit them, obviously, because, well, that's when all the film stuff picks up. I start to have my passion with that, and of course I meet the other two loves of my life, which are Dylan and Josh.
Right.
And
shut up.
Where's April? I quit my jobs because of film, and also because I hated my jobs. They were awful. And now I'm a stay-at-home dad, which is very hard to live with because I feel like I've been raised in such a weird patriarchal, the man does the work, the woman does the kids stuff.
Which is, women are the primary breadwinners in 50% of American households nowadays, so there's no shame to being a stay-at-home dad at all.
Well, I'm glad to contribute to that. I'm all for, like I've said before, I'm all for women's rights. But
I know SNL's kind of rough, but there's one SNL skit that I think is just absolutely hilarious. There's a few that I think are absolute gold. And they all feature Jason Momoa. One of them is he's talking about, the narrator's talking about how women are the money makers in 50% of American households, and how doing chores is now a man's job. And he's got all these GE diesel run washing machines. And I think the washing machine's 6 feet tall, and jackhammer vacuums and stuff.
Can we talk about how the fact that you're so this show that's been on for decades, I only really one 2-minute segment.
SNL is so bad, dude. Have you watched SNL skits? They're so bad.
I like old SNL. I don't like anything past 2010, I think.
Really? You're not missing out on anything at all.
Glad.
Well, with what you have seen, what do you think?
I've liked it. I've never had a problem with it.
That's why we're not funny.
No, but I've never seen the new ones, so I'm not gonna taint myself.
Yeah, you're really not missing out.
I've got 2 with Jason Momoa that you can watch and enjoy, and then you'll never have to watch anything else.
Send them over.
So now I'm trying to make movies with these two, and I raise a kid, and that's my life. And I'm sticking to it. I guess I'm going to pass that off to you.
Okay, because my name's in the title.
Yeah, and everything else, I guess we'll just fill in the blanks as we go.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get to talk about all this crazy stuff. This wacky stuff that happens in my life. It's not really that exciting.
When I got
dead dad syndrome.
I do have dead dad syndrome. I've lived in Sierra Vista for I'll be 21 next month, so about 20 of my 21 years. And
I hate that I just did that.
it was pretty. It was pretty. I don't think there was anything that really. My life started right after I graduated. I thought I was hot shit in high school, and I definitely had experiences, but
then you came to learn
back,
it actually be ooh,
I think everyone has that, where you kind of look back at who you were in high school and you're like, holy fuck, you thought you were okay. All right, you don't know anything at all.
There are some days that I think I had levels in that time where my confidence was way higher than it is now.
Well, okay, ignorance is bliss. That's why your confidence was higher.
Yeah, that's true. But I think a lot of it came from my ex-girlfriend just up and dumping me sophomore year.
Yeah.
And that when you're a young boy in love, as many people find out, that something like that can change somebody, either for the better or for the worse. And I think it was good for a while. Obviously, that high's worn out over the years. It's just a steady decline.
But I was dating Caroline. And I graduated, and I got a job at Domino's because my high school got a bomb threat.
That's the reason?
That's the reason. Here, let me illustrate the dominoes for you. The dominoes. No, so I was dating Caroline, who was younger than me, a little. She's the same age as Josh. Not nearly as fat though.
Well, debatable.
But I was dating Caroline, and at my high school, the last week, the seniors get the week off. And so I wasn't going to school, but there was a bomb threat called in that week. So all the juniors and lower had to evacuate to like an old middle school, and they had to go and
Apache.
and be and be kept there and wait for like parents to show up. And so my mom was like, "All right, well, do you want to come with me to pick up your sister?" And I was like, "Sure," because I thought there was a chance I'd see my girlfriend. And I didn't see her, and we stood in the heat for so long that I was like, "You know, Mom, I really want pizza." And she was like, "No, you can't have pizza." So I turned to my little sister and I was like, "We want pizza." And she was like, "Yeah, we do." And so we just badgered her, and eventually we went to Little Caesars. And Little Caesars was going to be like a 30-minute wait. And my mom was like, I don't think so. So we went home
What
and
a
ordered
contradiction.
Domino's. Yeah. We went home and ordered Domino's. And I went in to pick it up and asked if they were hiring. And Tammy, our good old boss, the meth goblin.
The whole meth goblin.
She was there, and she helped me apply because I'd never applied for a job before. She helped me apply, and then just called me like 2 days later and was like, "I'm offering you the job." And I was like, "No interview?" And she was like, "I don't need one." And I ended up being her favorite.
Which, in hindsight, could easily be compared to, like, trickery. You had no idea what you were signing up for, and she had every clue that you were signing up for the worst job in the world, and she's like, "Get in here now."
But after seeing the people that that applied for Domino's jobs after me, like in the year and a half, the year and 2 months that I was there, after seeing all the other people that got hired to do the job that I got hired to do, no fucking wonder she looked at me and was like, "Get the fuck in here. You have all your teeth? Holy shit. Holy fuck."
You think if you had a say, they would hang your visor from the rafters?
Oh yeah, I want to be framed.
Domino's
Actually, Richard
visors.
just got. He just posted on Facebook today. He got moved up to a Tucson store.
Wow, good
Yeah.
for him.
Good for Richard. Richard's engaged to Tammy. I like Richard. Don't like Tammy.
Yeah. So good heads and tails there.
I like Richard not like I like John, but like I like. Okay.
Future Trevor cut here.
Yeah. No, but I like Richard like I like.
Like your
It's
dog.
a wonder this
Like
is
your-
so hard to answer.
That's a
Like
good
a
one.
pet
Okay.
dog.
Yeah, I like Richard like I like.
You
my
know,
dog.
I've always said that
Or-
Richard is very, very puppy-like.
Or
since
rather-
my time there.
Like I like your dog because I love my dogs. My dogs that live with my parents now because I moved out. Those I hold at the same level as John. No offense.
Dog.
But like your dogs, they're like they're fun to play with. And they're good puppies and everything. But they don't have like a special place in my
Yeah.
heart.
As
I wouldn't
soon
lose
as
any
you
sleep.
start
if
doing
they
something you remotely
died.
don't like or find cute. You're like, stop, get away from me.
Right.
Richard, please.
Richard was like that.
Fuck, Richard.
My favorite Richard story has to be the Left 4 Dead one.
Oh God, yeah. When we were at Domino's and I was talking to Tammy and she was like, "I just got my grandkids." I said something about Left 4 Dead 2, and she was like, "Oh, I just got my grandkids Left 4 Dead 4." And I was like, "That's impossible." And she was like, "No, it's not," because I did. And I was like, "There's no fucking way you did. I promise you, you're wrong right now. I would have known about that. I really would have. I
That'd be
follow
awesome.
that. Yeah, I follow this game series so closely." And she was
I
like,
feel like the amount of like knowing how right you are is like Thanos like pulling rocks from the planet down to.
I was so confident, but she was standing her ground so hard. Like, there's no way I could be mistaken. I'm absolutely right about this. That I started. She was so standing her
That's
ground
just
so
how she
hard.
is.
I started.
She's just crazy like that.
Right. I started
no matter what it
like
is.
questioning myself. Like, is there a way I missed it? How could I have missed it? There's no way. But I didn't let her see that.
You
And
know,
so she was
trailer,
like
E3 2014. You're like, what?
she was like, "Go ask Richard." And so I walked out and I was like, "Richard, Tammy said you just got the grandkids Left 4 Dead 4. Is that true?" And he goes, 4 and 5.
Without even looking up from his
He
phone.
was still looking at his phone.
No eye
4
contact.
and 5.
4 and 5.
What did he actually get?
I don't know. I have no idea.
What what if there's just a
asked-
Left 4 Dead 3, 4, and 5 that you've never known about?
I asked them if they could let me know, and they said yeah. And every time I asked them after that, they said, "Oh, I forgot to ask. I forgot to see."
Legend has it, Richard just pre-ordered Left 4 Dead 6. So, Domino's.
Yeah, so Domino's is where I met you. And before I met you, I was in criminal justice class, getting ready to be a cop.
Yeah. Trevor Cop, as it were.
Right. Nice.
Foreshadowing.
Just letting Rob know that another one down in the chamber.
I was in a criminal justice class, getting ready to be a cop, dating a high schooler, and
you work from both sides of the law.
You gotta think like a criminal.
Get into their mind.
Anyway, so I was, I had just accepted the fact that I was like, well, I'm gonna marry this girl and I'm gonna be with her for the rest of my life, and every decision I make needs to be in service of like, how am I gonna provide for us, right? And that is just a horrible way to think.
That's exactly
in my opinion,
what capitalism wants.
That was just a horrible way to think
American
as
dream,
an 18-year-old working at Domino's.
Yeah, drill it in while you're young.
Right, and then I ended up that relationship ended up ending. I was like, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do cybersecurity and make good fucking money. That relationship ended, and I was like, what am I doing? And I dropped out of all of those classes, and I was like, John, because we had been doing Caps Off, I was like, John, you want to help me make a movie? And not too long after that, we started making Vienna, which never got released, which never even got finished.
Not too long after that, we started making love.
That's true too. And we met Josh and Dylan through Troy, and from there it's history. At one point in there, though, you and I had a run-in with a girl that I ended up hooking up with.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a story that we teased 18 episodes ago.
Almost. How long ago was that?
It was episode 2. We were sitting cross-legged.
So long ago.
Yeah, it was a year ago.
Long ago.
It was Halloween.
No way.
It was October 22nd.
No fucking way. How did we
it was Halloween.
Accidentally hit the same month?
Yeah, it was Halloween because I was
Episode
dressed
20.
as Luke Skywalker.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
That was, and I ended up hooking up with this girl, and she was talking to me. I was in the car with her one day, and she was talking to me about like podcasts she listened to, and I was like, oh, I have a podcast, and she's like, really? At this point, we had one episode out. And I was like, yeah, and I'm recording the second episode here in like a week or so. We're just getting into the groove of things. And she's like, oh, that's cool. What's it called? And I was like, Caps Off. And she was like, I have a better name. I have a much better name, and it's gonna blow your mind, Trevor. You're gonna shit your pants when you hear this name. And I was like, I'm fucking ready to hear it. And she goes, ready? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. And she was building it up, and she goes,
now this relationship was not the podcast had only one episode, but it was older than this small little like relationship that they had going. Not really a real relationship.
Not really. I think we only talked for like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, so she built it all up. She had it going, and she was like, all right, here's the name. Here's what's going to blow your tits clean off, Trevor. Ready? No cap.
To which my reply was fucking, okay, Yoko. Trying to fucking mix things up in here.
Yeah, so you said that, and I didn't get it, because we were about to record episode 2, and I told you that she said that fucking ridiculous name. Oh, it means there's real conversations happening. No, real conversations are signaled by the caps being fucking off, bitch.
Yeah, obviously she didn't listen to the lost tape. And it shows.
In that recording, we come up with the name Caps Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Anyway, but yeah, so I was just kind of telling you about that, and you said, okay, Yoko, and that went over my head because I didn't know shit about the Beatles or anything like that. But if you don't know, Yoko Ono is credited as being the person who broke up the Beatles because she was whispering in John Lennon's ear, "Oh, you're fucking better than them. Oh, you can excel so much. You'd be so great." And
Should
then
have called it the Ladybugs.
and I was watching an interview, and their defense is always like, how can one woman drive a wedge between 4 people? And it's like, oh, don't bullshit us, John. We know you were the first person to walk in and be like, I'm out. But and I just cackled. That was the funniest thing I'd heard.
If you think it's a sad story, don't worry. Yoko got hers. That's so terrible. I don't advocate hurting women or John Lennon. Team Paul. If you don't like Paul McCartney, I don't like you. He's literally one of the sweetest human beings to touch the face of the earth.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I side with John Lennon.
So this is gonna be the last episode of Caps Off.
But yeah, so that's the OK Yoko story, which is just
20 episodes in the making.
Right,
and
probably not worth the wait. But I remember just thinking that was so fucking funny hearing you when you explained it to me and I understood. That's what it seemed like. She was like, call it no cap. You're so much better than him. God, you're so cool. Yeah. Show me your lightsaber again. You're dressed as Luke Skywalker, right?
It's still a better surprise than the 2018 Super Bowl. But we wanted SpongeBob, goddammit.
Was that 18 or 19?
I thought
it was 2019.
You know what? I think it was 2019.
It doesn't matter. I hate football.
So then that's is that it?
I think that's about it.
Then yeah, that kind of wraps it up to Caps Off. What about you?
Yeah, why don't you give us
Tell us about Joshua Lindstrom.
A little quick
Caps Off
quickie.
with John and Trevor?
And sometimes Josh.
Okay.
give us a little quickie.
Well,
okay. The audience knows the least about you.
Yeah, that's
and if
true.
If they take our word by credit at all, they hate you. They have to hate you.
Well, okay.
And think you're obese.
Within the story, I'm going to touch on my weight. just to let you guys know.
He is obese. What are you talking about?
All right. I want you to
I'd leave
take
it for
my
Dylan
word
too.
for it. Okay? All the audience. I'm talking to the audience right now. I want you to take my word for it. Okay. So, I was born in Mesa. I'm an Arizona guy. I've lived in Arizona almost my entire life.
Oh, right hook.
He's almost shaped like it.
Okay.
Oh, there I go.
Talk about Dylan and my girlfriend.
I know.
You're wiping tears. Just make the Dylan jokes, okay?
Already.
Anyway, I was born in Mesa, right outside of Phoenix, and then when I was like 6 months old, we moved to Bisbee. I lived in Bisbee until I was about 14 years old. I'm skipping a part because I lived in China.
Like 14
yeah, they're
years.
gonna call you on that.
Well, I lived in China from 7 to 8 years
I knew
old.
that.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yes, you both did. I've told you this before.
You lived in China.
I did.
Why did you live in China?
A year and a half.
I think it's hard to understand you with all that food in your mouth.
Stop! Stop being funny. Anyway.
No, but when was that? At what age?
I just
7
said
to 8.
7 and 8.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even know you lived in China. You think I'm fucking listening?
Yeah, as you were saying that, you were like, I lived in China, and all the subsequent sentences... Uh-oh. All the subsequent sentences just turned into, like, the parents from Peanuts. As he was like, Josh lived in China?
China? Okay.
I hardly know her.
So from 7 to 8, you lived in China.
Yeah, from 7 to 8, I lived in
Your
China.
hair's
Because
blonde. How could you have lived in China?
The reason was because my parents were like, you know what? We need to
we need to Mandarin now.
We need to have you guys appreciate America when you grow up. You know? It was something like that. And
that's an interesting way to teach a kid values.
well, yeah. So they were like, we're gonna go to this third world country, which is kind of racist because it's not a third world country anymore.
China! It's one of the superpowers! Third world country.
No, but
aren't you glad your eyes don't look like that?
That's terrible.
Maybe next time you'll like America, huh? Joshy?
No, so we went there, and we were, like, praised as little white kids. I probably have thousands of photos taken of me from strangers.
Like from afar or like together?
Probably both, to be honest. Not
The
even
2010
joking,
Karate Kid
because
remake makes sense now.
I vividly remember, like, walking down the street, and then the Chinese people would be like, "Whoa, can we get picture?" And then they'd run over to us, and my parents would be like, "Yeah."
Hang on, what were they like?
They would actually say "Wow" when they saw us. Wow, like that. It was. No, but, then we get our pictures taken. We met these people that I vaguely remember, but I remember what they did for us. The guy's name was Don, and I forgot what his wife's name was, but they lived in the apartment complex.
It's just Don, but
Jean.
His is D-O-N and hers is D-A-W-N.
That's the Flash's kids.
Is that really?
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Come on, DC.
Yeah, but we lived in the same apartment complex, which, fun fact, we moved to a different apartment within that same apartment complex, which I'm not sure why. I don't remember if it was bigger or something, but we moved within that same complex.
Did you live in like a big city?
It was Yang'an Province. It was right next. It was kind of near a ghetto-ish. We were like right on the edge of a
know
ghetto.
what the ghetto like is in China.
Gunshots. It was
So nothing new.
Yeah. But it was like right on the border of that, and
Right.
So it's actually where I started. My foundation for the love of basketball happened. I'll touch on that in a second. But we were in Yang'an Province, which
Forgive me for sounding stupid. Do they have basketball in China?
are you
Yeah.
serious?
I mean,
They-
like,
of course they
it just seems like something.
well,
that
you
would-
sound
not
stupid.
it
karate.
just seems like something they wouldn't care about, you know?
We took kung fu classes. That's where I learned how to kind of do nunchucks,
Nice.
which is
Yeah, and I'm the idiot.
what? No, but yeah, we lived in Yang'an Province, which my dad was an English professor at a college, and my mom was an English teacher at the middle school, which was the wrong decision for her. She hated the middle schoolers, and they didn't respect her because she was this white woman who didn't speak a lot of Chinese. And
This is a movie waiting to happen.
I know, right?
So your dad was a professor at a college, and your mom was a teacher at a school.
Yes.
Can I make it any more obvious?
Okay. And I attended the school that my mom taught at. It wasn't a middle school.
That's not your mom.
It was
absconded with you.
No, the school went from like ages K to I think 8. It was a big range. But I ended up, because she was my mom, I ended up getting into that class with these kind of upperclassmen. Where we learned the hokey pokey, Simon Says, which I already knew.
Right, the
so I thought I was
fundamentals.
cool because I knew those things and they didn't.
Idiots.
Yeah, what do you don't speak English? Fucktard?
Hang on. Put your hand back up like that.
I don't want to.
I didn't say Simon Says,
Oh
retard.
my
What did you
God.
learn? What did you fucking learn?
Okay.
Chinese education system.
I figured there was something.
Judge is like, spoilers, we're going to turn around in a minute.
But I vividly remember one thing from China, or I remember a few things. But
So you
this,
really know what it's all about.
yeah, I know what it's all about.
And that's what it is.
Well, I turned myself around, and there was this girl who bullied me.
Oh.
She was like a 7th grader, 6th
She
grader.
choked you for saying she doesn't know how to rock.
No, we got into a fist fight. I was 7, mind
Did
you.
you do kung fu?
I didn't.
Oh.
I wish I would
Did
have.
she?
No.
Yeah.
Not,
Down with
So
stereotypes.
I want to tell you guys a stereotype that isn't
Fought like
true.
an American man. Curb stomp me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Before you go on, how stupid of a trope is it where, like, I've seen so many of these, like, action movies where you'll see... It happened in Avatar. They did one of these where basically normally an American will go someplace else, and the kung fu person will be like, wah, 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 you know, doing some like martial art, and they'll just like do like a 1-2 little punch in their face, and they'll be like, that's how we do it in Brooklyn. That's how we do it on Earth,
Brooklyn,
bitch.
baby.
You know, it's always like, yeah, America, the streets raise you to fight. Your stupid martial arts couldn't help you.
Someone who has so much respect for this art.
They always pull that. That's how we do it in America.
Well, in China, they just go...
Yeah. Bet you never thought about biting somebody.
Anyway, this girl was a bully to me, and I was like, I had it. And she set her watch down to go play with her friends.
Yeah.
And I took the watch and I threw it out the window of this like 3-story building.
Why?
And,
okay, this is a kid's classroom,
yeah. Well,
and the window's open 3 stories up.
my dad... Okay, let me tell you a different story. My dad...
They have the suicide prevention nets.
I was gonna say, like those sweatshops, dude. Oh my god. Jesus fuck.
My dad was telling me this story pretty recently, actually. He was a college professor, and he had a very strict no phone policy. While he was talking, and this girl wouldn't get off her phone. And he had told her a few times to get off her phone, and so he took her phone and threw it out the window. Because you can do that in China.
That's amazing.
And like in America, you get sued, right? But he swiped
China
her
where they
phone
don't
out of her
have
hand,
rights.
and he tosses it out the window. And
But like
she
an
tries.
American, he gets in her face and he's like, "It's China! It's China! Do something!"
That's how we do it in America.
And when she tried to go get her phone, he was like, "No, you're gonna sit down for the rest of my class." And so she had to sit there, all anxious, hoping that her phone was still down there. It
or
was
even in one piece.
He said he tossed it, like tried to aim it in this patch of grass, so that it wouldn't, you know. And it's back then when it was flip phones.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a
Those are
smartphone.
indestructible.
Yeah, those things were fine.
Nice.
Her phone was completely fine. But yeah, I lived in China, and my love for basketball happened there because I would take like this walk with my sister just around. We'd ride our bikes. I never was able to ride a bike, but she would ride her bike and I would ride on the pegs. And there was this guy who went out every day with his basketball, and
You're like, what is that?
Sometimes
The Rock.
and he was really good. And sometimes I would sit there and just watch because I was 7 and I thought it was cool looking.
Right.
So one day he was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I was like, "My name is Joshua." And he was like,
And that man was Jackie Chan.
and then he was like, "Put some tennis shoes on. You can play with me." I was like, "I don't have tennis shoes."
What were you wearing?
I was wearing flip flops.
He's like, they make them down the street.
He's like, yeah, about your age.
I'm going to hell.
No, but he was like, "Well, you can't play with me in those. So when you get tennis shoes, I'll let you shoot. I'll teach you how to shoot a basketball." And so
the shoes were gonna stop you from playing the game anymore.
He didn't want me getting hurt.
I get, yeah.
Anyway,
He was gonna cross you up.
I ended up getting tennis shoes, and he taught me how to shoot a basketball. That was the first time I'd ever made a shot on a basketball hoop.
Yeah.
When I was 7 years old. Anyway, I lived in China.
So you kind of are like the Karate Kid, but you're the basketball kid.
Yeah, except I'm not a professional
Went
by any
to
means.
China
How
to
stupid,
learn the ways of
That
basketball.
also
remake
not
was
black.
called The Karate Kid, and he learned kung fu. Fuck that movie. Fuck that fucking movie. Still hope Jaden Smith makes an appearance in Cobra Kai, though.
I'm gonna make a video on our channel that says me drinking Coke. It's just Pepsi.
So after we got back from China, I joined Scouts. And Scouts I was in until I was 18. I'm a life scout. But
Like
No.
Boy Scouts?
yeah, Boy Scouts. I was
no.
in Cub Scouts
Oh, Josh.
until 12, and then I was in Boy Scouts.
They raped those kids.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
In third grade, I went to one Boy Scouts meeting because I was interested in joining, and never went back. because I knew it was bullshit.
It's
I was like, come on.
See-
look at the kids who join Boy Scouts. Those kids
It's-
need it.
in
Kids who don't need Boy Scouts don't join, and they're normal kids.
in Bisbee, I would never join a different Boy Scouts group. Like when we moved to Sierra Vista, I went to Bisbee
Yeah.
because I couldn't join somewhere like Sierra Vista, because in Sierra Vista you get people like that, like who you were describing.
Same with Demolay.
Yeah, you get people
heard
who
of
are
it.
like the band kids,
Yeah.
you know?
No, when you say like they need it, are you talking about like they need it, like they need a recourse in their life, or they need it like
a
that's
part
what
of
they were
something.
born to do?
No, like these kids have trouble making friends in school, so they have to
Yeah.
have the club.
Yeah.
Oh,
To
okay.
have their friends.
I see.
Yeah, but in Bisbee it was like they didn't care whether you were, or that let me try that again. The Scoutmasters were very humble and respectful and cared a lot. And they would $12 and you get to go on a 3-day camping trip. Here it's like $50, $60. It's you pay for everything. But
Are you
they
trying to get me to join the Boy
no,
Scouts?
no. Well, you can't. You're over 18.
Well, thank God.
But you could still be a Scoutmaster if you train
and
hard
that's why
enough.
I'm here.
No, but yeah, we
It's such a weird concept that it like cutting off at 18, because then like
yeah, because you're an adult. You're not a boy anymore.
yeah, the prey becomes the predator. And most literally.
Yeah, that happened. I prayed.
It's okay. Oh god. Oh god.
Sorry, I was
For dear-
drooling
for
thinking
dear
about
life.
it. But yeah, I actually learned a lot, and I think I am a better person because of Scouts, what I've learned from Scouts. I know that sounds cringy, and what you're imagining might be different than what actually happened.
Yeah.
But it was a very good experience, and I'm very glad that I was pushed to do that. I didn't want to at first, because I thought exactly what you did. And I thought I was going to be surrounded by these band kids who had no life outside of their club.
But I found brotherhood.
But I
I will never
made a
not make fun
blood
of the
oath.
fucking Boy Scouts.
I made a cum oath to my
Oh, I bet you
Scoutmaster.
fucking did. I don't doubt that for a second.
No, I didn't.
How about we make some derby cars first, and then we'll see how good Scouts
we
was.
we did that, and it was so fucking fun. And we did rocket derby, and that shit was so fucking fun.
So shut up!
What's the difference?
So rocket derby is how high the rocket goes.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't know. I didn't think of that.
and Pinewood Derby, which
of course, yeah, the cars.
the cars. That's how fast it can go.
Nice.
And God, Rocket Derby. I only did it twice.
Did you get your
which
rocket
sucks.
to rise up?
I don't think I won either year, but I think I was in top 3 one year. But
Man.
you make your own rocket, which is super awesome. At 10 years old, you're learning how to use a table saw, which nowadays, like axes,
Oh shit, dude. Okay, I got a fucking story to tell you. Finish.
That's how Johnny Cash's brother died.
Well, we learn all this the safety stuff, and then you apply it, and you actually get to work with like these machinery and like things that normal people would think, oh my gosh, my kid's gonna get hurt and die. No, fuck that. We got to work with all this stuff, and it was such a good experience, and I think that kind of stuff is what helped me grow as a person. You can tell your story before I go on with the other part of my life.
Okay, so I in 8th grade I took an industrial tech class.
Me too.
Nice. And did you guys do the
I didn't
Mr.
see-
Rife?
I
No,
didn't
Miss
see-
Williams.
Oh, Miss Williams?
Yeah.
Was she black?
No.
Oh, okay.
She was white. A little white
Okay.
woman.
I had a Miss Williams in my 8th grade, and I wanted to kill myself every
Where'd you
time
go?
I was in her
JCMS?
class. Yeah, JC.
I know that Miss Williams.
Yeah,
My
she
friend
sucks.
Doug also wanted to kill himself.
Yeah, Miss Williams and Miss Steegers.
Oh my God, Miss Stevens! I got a fucking story for her too, but I can't tell it on the microphone.
Okay.
So, but I can tell this other story. So my Miss Williams for industrial tech, she told us a story about how she had a kid because we were we were doing project. We were making the dragsters, and so we had to cut the wood to the general shape that we needed it to be.
Class.
Yeah, it was. And she said there was one kid, they used to have a table saw, and there was one kid who would just like feed the wood through, and he'd cut it, and he'd feed it through, and he'd cut it. And the number one rule is like don't cross with your hand, the little thing. And he did. He just fed the wood through and cut his hand clean off. And the
in your class?
Not in my class,
okay.
but it was like a student she had a couple years before, and he like freaked the fuck out. But luckily, everyone else in the class had enough knowledge that they got ice and they put it in there and they called an ambulance. And he actually was able to get the hand reattached, and he could bend his fingers about halfway down. After like a few years of physical therapy, he was getting range of motion back. And this fucking lawyer came by and was like, you can get a lot of fucking money from the school, but you gotta stop doing your hand exercises because
No way.
that'll
What
up
a
the amount of
shitty
money,
thing to do.
and they have to think you're not making progress, so that it's the school's fault. And he did that, and they went to court and they lost the case, and he just had a dead hand.
Oh, I gotta hand
And
it to
no
you.
money.
That's a shitty story.
Yeah.
It really makes me feel uneven. Hands down.
Makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
God, what a shitty person to say.
Take advantage of like
Yeah.
a kid, you know.
And they probably have to pay the lawyer.
yeah.
God.
Caps off this week goes to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he was a dumbass and fed his hand.
He
through
tried
it.
his best.
Sometimes you just can't cut
You
it.
make mistakes.
But he did.
Yeah.
Look, he made one mistake, chopped his hand off, okay? You make several mistakes a day in the form of cheeseburgers and pizza and
Oh,
chicken
let me
wings.
go on with my life story.
Okay.
That reminded me. I will admit, I was fat at one point.
At one
At
point.
one point.
Case closed.
Thanks for listening.
So when I was, I think I've said this before, when I was 13, 14,
Yeah,
that,
we did talk
that
about this
range.
last time, you being fat.
Yeah. I don't think I talked about
Please
this
tell me more.
aspect. So high school, I tried out for the basketball team. I got on the team. And one day, Glasgow, which was our coach,
Yeah, I know
he,
Mr. Glasgow.
he pointed at me, he pulled me aside, and he was like, "How much do you think you weigh?"
He said, "How much do you think you weigh?"
He was ahead
You're
of his
right.
time.
And I was like, I don't know, around 200. And he's like, "Get on the scale." And he was an asshole about it. Let me keep going.
He's an asshole about everything.
I respect Glasgow as a coach
Yeah.
and
Dave
as a person.
Glasgow.
But he not as a teacher. But anyway, he had me step on the scale, and it was 230 something pounds, and I was like, okay, so around 200, and he was like, no, that's not around 200.
I have a question. I've never played a sport in my entire life. Is it like
There's not a weight cap.
at what age was that?
This is 14.
14?
15.
At 14, is it like when you're coaching 14-year-olds, is it really the coach's responsibility to like
Make you
maintain
cut?
the player's weight
Yes.
and stuff like that?
Wrestling, if anyone who's done wrestling can tell you this.
Like it kind of
they
makes sense
make you
just
cut
to the point of like
even when you're a
you gotta
freshman.
think
Yeah.
like maybe I'll start being a dick about it when they're like older. You know, further along in their career, I guess. But like, I don't think I could be like, "Wow, you're a fat 14-year-old."
in 7th grade, what's that? What are you in 7th grade? 12?
Yeah.
I tried out for the wrestling team. I was put on.
No one can get their arms around you, Josh.
Well, I was put on like.
Heavyweight's where it stops. I'm sorry.
I think I was put on the medium, like the I don't know, medium weight,
I think
whatever average weight. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember. But they were like, okay, you need to cut 10 pounds to do it because you can't be heavyweight. You're not quite there yet, so you might as well just cut. And in 7th grade,
You couldn't cut 10 pounds.
and no, I quit because
okay.
that's stupid.
That is kind of stupid.
And I didn't want my face in people's balls. Like wrestling's fun, but I don't want to
Especially
do
when
it.
you say that.
Yeah,
Sign me up.
but I don't want to do it. I don't want to just rub my body on sweaty guys in fucking like underwear. You know.
You had me fooled.
Anyway.
What would you call that earlier?
Okay. Yeah, so I was like 230 pounds. sophomore year. Sophomore year. I tried out for the basketball team. Did I? Oh yeah, no. I didn't sophomore year. I didn't try out for the basketball team sophomore year. I didn't play a sport.
Like I said, the audience is fact checking this, so this matters.
Well, I'm trying to. This is for me.
Okay.
Not for you. Fuck you.
He's trying to find himself.
So sophomore year was kind of a dud for me. That was kind of like, I was fat. I didn't like myself. I was unhappy. Sophomore year sucked.
You're still fat.
It's like
I don't
me
like you
right now.
and you are unhappy.
And junior year, that's when I was like, all right, time to change something.
Yeah.
So I lost 60 pounds.
How'd you do it?
I told you this in the last episode.
Work out.
You think
Eat
I
green
listened?
vegetables.
Obviously not. You didn't hear me when I told you I've been to China.
I don't even know
But,
who you are. Where am I? You smell toast.
Well, I cut soda and everything except water and milk out of my diet. I cut my portions almost in half for eating.
Yes.
I started going to the gym like twice a week. Within like 3 months, I lost 60 pounds.
Nice.
And
You said that was your junior year?
that was my junior, either the summer of sophomore year or junior year.
Okay.
Around that time, I think. And because my it must have been this summer because my senior or my first day picture for junior year, I was thin.
Nice.
Anyway, I tried out for the basketball team. I didn't get on,
Yeah.
and it sucked. So then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just not gonna do sports. I'm just not gonna do it. Then I did volleyball. And it was
Volleyball's
so
respectable.
fun.
Yeah, it's a respectable sport.
I love
laugh at that.
volleyball. That became like number 2 on my sports list. It was soccer. I hate soccer now. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. So I was. I still love basketball the best. That's still number 1. But I played volleyball, and my senior year, I lost all interest in everything. I just wanted to be done. I wanted to live my life. That was like, you know, that age. If anyone listening is at that age, it's just you're so done. You're old enough and wise enough to make your own decisions now.
Yeah.
And but you're still being held back by this authority that you don't feel, that you now understand is not much smarter than you are. They just went to school longer.
Boy, oh boy, yeah.
And so it's like this. If you can help it, don't think like this. But this is what happened. I went to school every day, and I felt just the monotony, and it's just these stupid people telling you to do these useless tasks that will never help you anytime ever.
Yeah.
And it just got to me. And that whole senior year, I didn't do sports. I didn't do clubs. I was gonna do engineering, but I ended up not because why would I do it if I could just leave an hour earlier and get out of this place? So that's what I did, and I ditched school often. Sophomore, I didn't talk much about my sophomore. That can be a whole different.
I was gonna say we're
that
not
can be
your
a different.
therapists.
That can be a different place.
We're almost at an hour already.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We can cut a lot of this out. I enjoy talking about this.
Just
I haven't
cut
in a long
Josh's
time.
entire.
But so then I graduated when COVID happened. And God, was that just the cherry on top? Because I didn't have Project Grad.
First time the virus has ever been mentioned on the podcast.
I was just about to bring that up. We were making an active effort not to talk about the coronavirus.
Well, this directly affected me. So this is
fake me. Get off my podcast.
You and every other fucking person on the planet.
Yeah.
well, I'm saying so. I'm like
me.
I'm saying so. I'm going
Viruses are
to
horrible.
I'm going to address it because it's in my story.
Right.
This is a part of my story.
No, go ahead.
Neither of us mentioned it.
So COVID happened. COVID, you know, the virus that happened. I'm just gonna spill it out. So I didn't get Project Grad, which is the only thing I was looking forward to.
Project graduation's fun.
I know. I know it's fun. My sister had it. A lot of my friends had it.
I don't know what this is.
I never
It's
had
like
it.
it's like a little party after graduation. It's like almost like a sleepover at the high school. Their thing is like they have like this whole big theme and prizes. You can win like
free
fucking
prizes.
bikes and
That does
TVs
kinda
and
sound
shit.
fun.
It's their incentive to get kids not to go drinking and driving.
My
I'd
my
probably show up
girlfriend.
late, to be honest.
My girlfriend got this big tub of Tupperware and
Yeah.
dishes.
I got a lot
and
of cool stuff.
My
for-
sister got
Nice.
this mini fridge and like this cool stuff. And someone got a fucking car like
Wow.
2 years ago or something. They just get sponsored from a bunch of places.
They have,
You
like,
know what
really
we
nice
did this
bikes.
year?
Yeah.
We drove by and got a little envelope full of coupons that expire. They have an expiration date.
They might as well have handed y'all shooters this year.
Yeah, I
Little
know.
mini shooters of liquor.
that girl we were talking about earlier, Yoko.
Yeah.
She told me that back where she was from, I think in Texas or something, they called it Operation Graduation, which is an infinitely better name. I was like really jealous. I was like, are you kidding me?
Operation graduation sounds like a means to an end, but project graduation sounds like, oh, big things are happening.
Think so?
Yeah.
I sang karaoke in my Flash suit at project graduation.
I love that
Yeah.
video. You do the same dance you do every time your brain says body dance. You do that. What is that called?
Millie Rock.
The Millie Rock. I'm almost convinced you don't know any others except for the default dance.
I know
from
several
Fortnite.
others. They're all
Yeah, no, okay.
really bad.
Okay.
Dude,
All right.
Don't
what,
eat-
what
dude.
dance? What dance is he doing? Oh, that's another
Oh my
Fortnite
God.
all right, so don't tell me I don't know how to dance.
For a guy who played Fortnite for like 10 minutes, you're really good at the dances.
So during this time, I'm gonna keep going. I was working at Peter Piper. I got furloughed.
Piper. I hardly know her.
Yeah. Take that.
That
bitch.
works.
Yeah.
And then I quit shortly after because Peter Piper's a toxic ass place to work. Don't work there. And then I worked at
Or Domino's. Just
I-
avoid pizza altogether. I think that's the message.
I took about 2 months off of just working, which that's the time that we pretty much really started to do filming. And it was a great time off, well needed after everything that happened during my senior year and a little bit past it even. But then I got a job at Teleperformance, worked there for 2 months. Big mistake. Takes a certain type of person. It's not me.
Yeah.
And right after that, I got a job at Best Buy.
That's where you are now.
That's where I am now.
Today was your
And,
third day.
Today was my third day. It was great.
I didn't ask.
I really enjoyed it.
So it was your third day.
And
That's it.
yeah,
You said that almost
that's
like it sounded like the little hint of pain in the back of your throat when you said that.
no. I actually really enjoyed it.
Is it nice? It's retail, so it's awful no matter what you're selling.
It's better than working in food
You think
or
Oh yeah.
calling.
Are you around people?
Or, I am around a lot of people.
Like customer wise, I mean.
Oh no, I work in the back.
Okay.
I'm. It's called product flow.
Warehouse.
Warehouse. Yeah, I unload trucks and put everything where it needs to be. And it's
Where the
it's
ugly
so
people
nice.
go.
The fat, ugly people. The
That's
fat, ugly
rude.
cucks.
You beat me to it.
There's this guy that works there, and he's on the bigger side, but he is a sweet guy, and he helped me all day.
I've seen that guy. He's smaller than you. You should be trying to have
Oh
his
my
body.
God.
You should
I-
want to be his size.
I am 200 pounds now, and I am a lot more muscle than I was. I'm not saying I'm a musclehead by any means, but I am not
Dude,
fat
I'm like
anymore.
really strong. Stop.
Watch me flex.
Well, that's our time. That's our time.
Sorry, I had
do
to
wanna
talk
talk
for
a little
30
bit more.
minutes.
I think we're about good.
Well, I want to talk for a little bit more.
You got more stuff to say?
Well, just this. I watched I watched this video earlier, and it
Okay.
has not left my mind almost since I watched it.
Okay.
And this guy was talking about how it was basically like a joke video, and the guy was like, the guy who created the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
How did he know what day it was? to start it on.
I think he just started it. I think he was just like, you know what?
Was a
Sunday.
I think honestly, like, it's a really like goofy, ditzy kind of question, but it's a really, really good fucking question.
Yeah.
Because you got to think there's been so many calendars just in like the history of human existence.
Mm-hmm.
The one we go by today, do you know what that's called?
Gregorian or something like that?
Perfect.
Yeah.
The Gregorian calendar. And that's named after Pope Gregory the... I don't know. It's XIII. I don't know Roman numerals.
That sounds like 13.
13?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I looked it up. It starts on a fucking Thursday.
Oh, no!
Isn't that the most disturbing thing you've ever heard? Fucking ladies' night is when the... Goddamn. It's when Bones was premiering. It's when the calendar started. What else happens on a Thursday? Impractical Jokers, new episodes Thursdays. For fuck's sake, how do you start like existence of time?
That brings up
it?
the fact that it starts on a Thursday. That begs the question: how did he know what day it was?
Exactly.
If it was on a Sunday, then I'd be like, he just started at the beginning. But
so what it's actually that calendar is, it's like a reprise calendar that came based off of the calendar that Julius Caesar designed.
Yeah.
And Julius Caesar said, I can't remember why, but he said that, January 1st is the beginning of the year, which after the fall of the Roman Empire, of course, that calendar got bounced around and anybody could do anything with it, which that got changed to between religions and areas. It got changed to different historical dates. So, and for a large part of the human history, a good portion of the world considered the first day of the year to be December 25th, which is, Jesus's birthday or whatever.
Right.
Like I don't know Jesus, that guy.
Heard of him? He's kind of underground.
Heard he was.
Yeah, you like Jesus? Name 3 of his albums.
But isn't that just bananas?
Yeah.
Just because I know that's one of those paradoxes where you can just think about like how time is a man-made thing, and you can do literally anything with it if you think about it. Just the time itself, because time you can't touch it, but time, the characters, the letters, or the numbers, sometimes letters, with its months or days, you can do anything with that, and it just goes to show that like when people like Julius Caesar declare that this is your calendar here, and then the Pope comes along and decides that this is your calendar, it's like things like that are just, I feel like, things that get us further and further away from answering like those age-old questions of like where did civilization come from, how old does it actually go back, and I think I learned in school. Did you ever learn in school like what the like recorded start of civilization is?
Sumer.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, the Sumerians.
What?
Oh, it was so fucking long ago. I think it was like...
it's in the Middle East somewhere, I know, like right
yeah,
above
like Egypt.
Yeah. Africa area. Everything takes place in that area. I love that area so much.
You been there?
Yeah, all the time. Had a Big Mac hole. I looked at the Great
I lived there when I was
Pyramids
7
of
or
Giza.
8. I found my love of basketball there.
That's another thing I find crazy about Egypt is how they don't like you could literally go to a McDonald's and look at a Great Pyramid. Like they don't space any of that out or anything.
All the pictures make it seem like it's all out in the desert.
Yeah.
And there's so much city around those.
Like I'm gonna go through 3 camels trying to get to it.
Yeah.
And then it's just right fucking there while I'm eating my quarter pounder. So that's basically all. I didn't know if you guys could pick anything off of that.
Oh no, I've had to pee for a while, so I'm kind of itching to end this. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, I figured you were gonna cut a lot out of it.
I might.
Because I especially want you to just go through and just like if it's not funny, just
chop it up.
Yeah.
All right.
If you can, just not
funny or
make
interesting.
Make it absolutely. We're just been screaming in this part.
we're at about a minute and 10 seconds. An
hour
and
10 seconds. I think we gotta go a little longer.
10 minutes. So let's shake hands.
We're gonna shake hands. Episode 20 spectacular. Shake hands.
That was the big one, I guess.
The big one.
Well, we talked about our lives.
Yeah, it was the bios, the biography episode.
It just took 20 episodes to find out who you were.
Are you keeping the thing a secret?
Yes.
Okay. I figured that's why I hadn't brought it up yet, so I didn't want to bring it up in the middle where you'd have to go searching for it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Love you, bro. Hey, Donald, this is Clark. Hey, if you get a chance, could you give me a call back, please? Love you, bro. I want to talk to you about the house. Hey, Donald, this is Clark. Love you, bro. Hey, Donald, this is Clark. Love you, bro.